Hi, everyone. This is Jeanette St.Germain, and I'm so happy you're here joining the Radiant Soul podcast today. And I'm here with my good friend, Jessica.
Hi, welcome.
And we were just talking off camera about some different things around the topic of ascension and what it means to be a soul having a human experience, and how incredible it is to really be able to connect to our multidimensionality and have experiences, even receive messages from otherworldly beings that are actually aspects of our higher self. And, just really having this interesting conversation. And we get into some really advanced, in-depth topics when we're just sitting here talking, but we were thinking it might be fun to share some of this. So if you'd like to go down the rabbit hole with us today, we'd like to have some fun and just see where it goes, talking about ascension and special messages from the universe. So what do you think, Jessica? What do you think about ascension? What is that for you?
I think it's a perpetual state. I think that obviously we're working to ascend to fifth dimension now at this point, but we're constantly working on ourselves. So once we reach that fifth dimensional state, we're going to be working towards the sixth dimension, so on and so on. So right now, I think that higher dimensional beings are coming in for us so strongly, and the veil is thinner than ever, and more people are waking up. Every day, more and more people are waking up. It's an energy that's just so palpable and that you can feel, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful feeling, but there's also a lot of intensity that goes along with it. So I think that's all a part of what we're going to discuss and see what we can't get Sophia to answer for us and give us. I know there are a lot of questions that a lot of the Ascension community or the people that believe in ETs have a lot of questions. So maybe we'll dive into some of that a little bit and see if we can't get some clarification from an incredible creator being.
Yeah. I'm excited and a little bit nervous to channel on a video and show people what that is. I've done that myself in groups and in private sessions, but not on the interwebs. So this should be interesting for everyone. We're hoping to channel some direct messages from a creator being that I know as Sophia, and she is the highest aspect of my highest self in this universal construct. And what I mean by that is there are lots of universes, lots of creator beings, lots of experiences, just as there are lots of humans running around, lots of ants in the anthill. And we were talking about that moving into a fifth dimensional consciousness. You gave a little bit of presence to that. We're shifting out of our 3D consciousness into more of a fifth dimensional. And I was thinking that anybody listening might not know what that's about. So I just wanted to give a little bit around that, because the idea of spirituality and waking up to, yes, I'm a soul, there's that. But then there's this process of, well, what does that really mean? And the ascension into that fifth dimensional consciousness is where we shift from an ideology of me, myself, and I, this concept of separation from each other, from the world around us, into a consciousness of unity, where everything is connected, where we make decisions from a place of us and we together. Mm-hmm. And so you'll notice when we channel with Sophia today that the messages come through with the verbiage of we and us, because it is a collective consciousness of highly evolved, millions and millions of years more evolved than the basic human consciousness that we are around every day. And so she speaks from that unity consciousness standpoint. So I wanted to explain that a little bit, that third dimensional separation idea, and then the fifth dimensional unifying idea. And again, that fifth dimensional energy being rooted in love as well. Mm-hmm. Whereas kind of where we're at in the human spectrum now, we're operating from a place of love or fear. And we can choose in each moment what that really is for us. And Sophia actually has showed me, along with a lot of the other beings of love that I work with, that love or fear, you can't have one without the other. It's really interesting. And that fear is actually just a perception of a lack of love or a separation from love. So even fear takes us back to love. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So,
and you're motivated by both.
Yeah.
You can look at it as, okay, I'm choosing to leave this relationship because I love myself, but it's also you're being motivated by fear. I'm choosing to leave this relationship out of fear.
Yeah. There's so much to that. That's a whole other conversation. Thing, right? Why do we leave relationships? Or how do we leave relationships with ourselves, right? Because we do that as humans. But that's, again, another part of the ascension journey and stepping into unity and love and recognizing all the different layers that go with that, right?
Yes.
So from what you were sharing earlier, you have a couple of questions for me.
I do.
And want us to slip into a channel state with Sophia. Is that correct?
Yes.
She's so excited, can you tell? Okay, and I'm
Love
like,
yay. Talking to Sophia.
Okay, so I'll do my best to stay forward and sitting in my chair here, but our space is a little limited. And once the channel comes in, my voice will actually change and the energy in the room will change. So just be aware of that. And anyone that is listening, know that when we are bringing in these frequencies from a higher consciousness, it's not even so much what we are saying that's important. It is actually the energy that's coming through, the vibration. And Sophia's vibration is intense. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. The energy is all about transformation and looking at who you really are, looking at where you've given your power away in your life, and stepping into that energy of becoming a true creator being, because that's what she is. She's a creator being. So she looks at our human experience as a training ground for us to become our own creator beings. And that starts in our everyday lives by looking at our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, how we define ourselves. And so when we communicate with her energy, it brings us these transmissions of light that activate us at a very deep level to truth. So just letting you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and step into it. I'm going to drop down into my heart and into that channeled space, and we will let Jessica start the questions in just a moment here. I feel like we're in the channel. Go ahead and just sink in a little bit deeper here. All right, go ahead.
Hello, Sophia. It's a pleasure to connect with you. Very grateful. We are wondering, what information can you give us about the ascension process, the point that we are at currently in our ascension process, that could best assist us to continue moving along?
Greetings. There is much joy that we are here today. We wish to share that the ascension process is one that is an ongoing process, as you state. But from the perspective of linear thinking, you are just at the beginning of millions of years of evolution, a planetary scale, a consciousness scale, and an individual scale. There is much to this. In order to bring forth that which is most pertinent to your experiencing at this time, we can offer this level of support. The most important thing in this ascension journey, in this now moment, is to continue to center into that place of love that you are. Many are finding that love is something they have mislabeled, misconstrued. The collective consciousness, in fact, has forgotten the truth of what love really is. Love is not a thing, a doing, a condition. Love is a state of being. Love is that which you truly are at your core, that which you have always been and shall return to once your experiencing of the individualized consciousness and the exploration of the worlds of polarity are complete. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes. How can we best connect with our inner being, our heart, and open our heart to learn more of what that love is that we've essentially forgotten about?
First, one must remember that love exists. There is a kind of energy around the earth at this time that is a direct contradiction to the very existence of love. This does not change the fact that love is truth, but it's almost as if love becomes its own reality. So we encourage the upliftment of consciousness through the methodology of gratitude, finding gratitude in each moment, being in each present moment, fully engaged. This channel has spoken of this much in classes and meditations, but this is a universal truth, that the only now moment is the only time that exists. And when there is a state of love or a perception of lack thereof, it is usually because a consciousness is stuck in a place on a timeline that doesn't exist, be it past or future. To hold that love within self and to share it with others is to recognize it in each moment, to notice the butterfly, the flower blossoming, the laughter of a child, to pay attention to the tears in the eyes of a loved one, to hug, to feel sadness, grief, to allow the feelings that are what make the human experience so fulfilling, to allow the experience instead of retreat. We can infuse with love even that which we hate. Does this suffice?
Yes. Yes. Very much so. You mentioned our timeline. People, individual consciousness being on timeline that truly doesn't exist. One of the questions that I had was about the timeline that we are currently on. I understand that timelines consistently change. But what information can you give about the timeline that we're on now? Are we leaning towards that positive opening up to love and connection and unity right now, and leaving sort of that darkness in the past?
You are currently experiencing the polarity or the contrast, where there is love, there is fear, where there is light, there is dark. That is the structure of this universe at this time. As far as a timeline or a channel of experiencing, it is difficult to say from the individualized scope, but we can speak to the trajectory of Gaia herself, to the trajectory of the consciousness of humanity. We can speak to the energy being in a state of flow or a state of stagnation, and with the remembrance that the universe is like a pendulum, always seeking balance, always seeking to expand back into itself, re-experiencing different layers and levels of what it is to become love, that which it already is. For this timeline query, the Earth herself has chosen to evolve her consciousness into a higher state of being. There are many ways to describe dimensions and densities, labels that help humanity to understand the structure, but really it is all about the frequency. Everything is energy. Everything has a magnetism, a polarity, a repulsion, an attraction, positive, negative ions, and such, and such. The Earth has decided to shift into the consciousness of unity, of love. Those who choose this path as well are on that trajectory. The energies that you may be aware of at this time, where it seems as if there is much heaviness, strife, despair, pain upon the earth and the experiencing of humankind, please know that this is simply one drop in the giant ocean of the experiencing of the evolution. The darkness is there, but so is the light. And just where the placement of Earth is in the cosmology, in this moment, there is a greater influx of light. The Earth has been in a cycle of darkness for quite some time from human perspective. This cycle is reversing, and there is light, illuminant, radiant light from the stars, from space, from the planets, from within the Earth's heart, within every being that is alive. So if there is a fear that the Earth will be steeped in darkness moving forward, at least for the coming cycle, this has been transcended. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes. It ties into a little bit to another question. There is a very large community here that believes we're going to have a mass event or solar flare, some type of mass destruction event that is going to push us forward, shift us forward into the fifth dimension. But I have also heard that we have the choice to make that not happen, that we can shift without this mass event. Can you give any clarification or information about that?
We feel you have described it most eloquently. It is a choice. It is always a choice. There are those that will seek to evolve through what they would perceive as a breaking apart, a kind of destruction. From our perspective, please know that this is neither good or bad. This is just what is being chosen. There is much shifting, changing, and transformational energies available, even now, without some seeming cataclysmic flare. This is but one storyline, but one moment, one observation of a potentiality. This is why it is so difficult for those that are on a more awakened path to receive clear-cut, intuitive insight or knowing about the forward motion of their everyday lives. Because the growth, the movement, the flow of the frequency and the energy that is the true evolution of the soul moves so quickly, and things shift rapidly. Will there be some sort of event? Well, there already has been, there already is. The shift in consciousness that you seek is already happening. That which you may perceive through dream or energy or fantasy in a space of non-physicality has already been created. It just has a bit of a lag as it comes down into physical form from human perspective. There will come a time when humanity is able to tune into their true potential in such miraculous ways so that they can manifest immediately, so that their hearts are open, that telepathy is the way of communication, that there are no lies or illusions or misunderstandings, for every heart is open, true, and pure. This is the kind of world that humanity is moving towards, that the evolution of the soul has as its next goal point, so to speak. But there are many who will go through that scope of a seeming destruction, and there are many who will go through that scope of a seeming resurrection. It really is a matter of perception. Events will occur. Events are occurring. Many that you are not aware of. Many that you are. Where do you choose to rest your energy, your focus, your creative potential?
Beautiful answer. Thank you. We're aware that there are numerous higher dimensional beings that are assisting us right now, helping us in a multitude of ways. What I am curious about is that something that you do as well? Do you work with other higher dimensional beings and collectives and discuss where we're at and how you can best assist us and help us and what energies to give to us and work with different individuals? Is this something that you do as well? In other words, know a little bit more about you.
There is no me. There is no I. The we that we are is all that is. Each collective consciousness is a construct. Each collective consciousness evolves to the next level of unity until at one point that collective consciousness returns to that which is source, that which is all that is. We are speaking with a voice of an individualized consciousness of the creation light, known as Sophia. But within that collective consciousness, all other collectives exist and reside. So to say that we work with each other, that is a truth. To say that we are each other is also a truth. To say that there are some collective consciousness that is disconnected in a way from that collective that we are is also a truth. We understand that there may be a desire to see how all the pieces connect, to see how each collective consciousness and each individualized consciousness shifts into that collective, or how they work together or seemingly against one another, for there is that energy of contrast. As you evolve into the higher states of being, the collective consciousness becomes more and more expansive. Shift from individualized self-knowing moves into a place of we knowing, us knowing, all knowing. You are in the space on the Ascension journey where you are just beginning to understand the single drop and the ocean, the single grain of sand and the beach, all as one. What is it that you wish to know about the different collective consciousnesses or the individualized consciousnesses regarding your ascension at this time?
I guess it's that as some of us are becoming more aware, some of us are connecting with these higher dimensional beings, these collectives, and are aware of the higher frequency energies, activations, downloads that we're receiving from them. And also aware that there are many different collectives, as you say, one, they are all one. But these collectives are working together and have created councils specifically to discuss humanity and our ascension process and where we are and how to best help us. So knowing that you are this amazing creator being, I guess I was wondering if you partake in these conversations, in these councils, if you communicate with others in regards to how to best assist us and help us.
We understand. There are many forms of individualized consciousness that also are connected to that consciousness of Sophia. So to say that the entire collective consciousness that we are comes through and appears or speaks to a specific council or star nation or galactic federation, that is a difficult concept, for we are coming from a space of infinity.
Okay.
And to speak directly through even a council, it would need to be through an individualized consciousness, as we are speaking through the individualized channel here today.
Oh, okay.
So yes, we do, but not in our totality, for that is infinity.
Okay.
There are many forms of creation, forms specifically of the divine feminine, and we have many, many names. Your own histories have spoken of those names many times over. So a form of Sophia is any form of the goddess, any form of the light, the dark, the in-between, any form of the life force that is creation. When we say we are all that is, we truly mean all it is. The stories and experiences that are being played out through multiple dimensions and Earth-like planetary systems are infinite in scope. The higher you go in consciousness, the lighter in density, the more you are attracted to others of like mind, like soul, like resonance. And so you will be drawn to forming communities and forming councils and groups that represent unity. This is natural, for you are evolving closer to that state of oneness with Source, with all that you are. So even a council would be just another way of an expression of that which we know as Sophia. Does this suffice?
Yes, I understand. I understand. Thank you. Thank you for getting into that further. I completely understand. One final question. We touched into this a little bit before, and that's, you mentioned that Gaia, Mother Earth, has made the choice to be community consciousness and ascend. And I think many of us have a good understanding of where she is at and how we need to best assist her. My question is the beings that not so many people see that are a part of Mother Earth, the elementals, and how are they assisting us, and how can we best assist them and care for them? Because I know there has been some destruction there in the past with our history, but things are now turning. So how can we best be aware of them, assist them, and how are they assisting us?
The best way to assist beings that are filled with the life force of creation, just as you are, is to honor that creation, to honor the plants, the animals, the waters, the air. We can do this in many ways. Honoring is not a mandate from the divine to save the planet, though there are many who wish to do so. We would simply ask that you see the beauty, you treasure it, and you do what you can each and every day to hold it safe and sacred. The perception again of destruction is a moment of possible transformation, resurrection. This has occurred even within those elemental connections of which you speak. We touched on this recently in a previous conversation, but there are the 9 elemental realms and the gateways that are opening up once more to mankind. And there are those of you that are deeply connected to the elementals, to the star beings, to the plants, to the spirits. For many lifetimes, and you have come forth to assist in being guardians and keepers once more. This is not to say you are simply a guardian or a keeper of trees. This is to say a keeper of life, one who honors the sacredness of life. We understand that life evolves, grows, expands, contracts. We understand the cycles of what you may perceive as life, death, rebirth. Let there be an easing in the mind and in the heart, in knowing that what is perceived as destruction, as a phase of finality, is simply a false reality. There is no ending. It continues. Life continues, always, in another form, another way, to assist the elemental energies and those realms of the unseen that are ready to make themselves seen and known once more, especially to the children and to those that are opening up more to their true soul nature. They will find themselves seeing, hearing, feeling, connecting with energies that others may not perceive. That doesn't mean it isn't real. To assist them, you can do something as simple as blessing your food, blessing the origins of water, of any kind of flow that happens in your life. Bless it and have gratitude in each moment. At the physical level, doing things like reusing objects, a kind of recycling, planting trees, using technologies to clean up pollution that is rampant in many places upon the earth at this time. All of this is good. All of this is helpful to those elementals, to those other realms, and to you yourselves and the planet. Sometimes it is as simple as an intention of caring and then a following through on that intention. Does this suffice?
Yes. Yes.
We thank you for taking this time to connect, to ask, to open your minds to a greater perspective than what might have previously been shown. We look forward to connecting again.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm so grateful for the communication and connection with you.
Okay. Yay! Okay. Woo.
And that was Sophia.
I feel like I was dancing the whole time. I was like, I keep moving, and she keeps moving me.
I was trying to keep you in the...
I know, I don't think I was in the frame.
I got you back in it.
Awesome. Okay, well, we hope that was fun and informative for you, and I'm gonna have to go ground, maybe eat some chocolate. Thank you for being with me here today, Jessica, and asking questions.
Thank you so much for asking me to be here.
Yeah.
I'm very happy and grateful.
Yeah, the energy feels so good. So, yeah, until next time, we look forward to connecting again soon. Stay radiant.